Okay, I'm back. It is another day. I took the rest of the day off, went and played Minecraft with friends. I am 40-some years old and still playing Minecraft with friends. Do something about it. I'm getting there. It's very noisy, I'm sorry. But I have time now and I'm doing this. I'm putting some more models up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these copy, like 8.5 by 5-inch paper boxes, and a couple of more like keyboard and computer board boxes that I need to go through. And there's the planes that I put to the side because I'm going to probably sit down with those later. They're mostly going to go in that corner down there on these 2 shelves. And I'm just going to have to sit down and very carefully kind of put them together, because there's like a process where some of the planes are really tall stands and some are not, and you can kind of layer them, and that's a lot of fun. We're saving that for last. But what do we have next? We've got stuff. We've got stuff. Beautiful Hogwarts Express in color. This is I believe, a premium series model. Try to peel off some of the glue strings. I think a tab came loose. There we go. That bar that runs across the side, that metal trim, is quite delicate. But isn't there a car that's supposed to go with that? Or did this model not have it? I can't remember. But yeah, Hogwarts Express. Very big, very pretty. Stick this over here somehow. Even more fans turning on. I think there's that's the blower fan for heating the house. I think the fan and flame is going on the hot water heater, because I just started some laundry, so there's a washing machine already going, but I'm doing this. Here we have the Gatling gun, I believe it was, or like a Civil War-ish Wild West gun. Cool. Cap's shield. It's got to go with the marble shield. We have one of my early models. We have R2-D2 in complete silver with the front foot broken loose. That happened to a lot of people. That is not a unusual thing, unfortunately. It was such stress put on those joints that a lot of people either couldn't get that front foot down, or in my case, I got it connected and then it popped loose, broke the tabs off, or at least one of them. Like, you can still see the back tab hanging in there, but the front tab broke completely off. Just no problem. Haunted Mansion, a little bit dusty on top. I can't remember if that's Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella's castle. Can't remember anymore. Can't remember. We have the White House. And not too complex model. Decent for beginners. With a very nifty Hagrid's hut. Quite dusty. So I had mentioned previously about using magnets to keep models upright or hold bases on. In this case, I don't want to take it off, but the melon just sits there. But in my case, actually I will take it off. In my case, there's an itsy bitsy magnet. I don't know if that's going to focus. There's a teeny tiny magnet on the bottom of that melon that keeps it from falling out. Teeny tiny magnet. Constantly losing them. We have like a stack of them. I used in a video once or twice. I took the stack of magnets, the little bitty tiny ones like that. There's like a line of them, and they used it like a magnetic stick to put something in place or hold something when I was securing it. I remember doing that once or twice. So after that box, let me go put stuff on the shelf. Not even really looking at my photograph anymore as far as putting this together, because I've got a general idea, and some things may get a little bit redone. Though I do have a couple of empty shelves I might have to figure out. I need to make some more risers. I even thought about trying to print something that actually extends the shelf out a little bit so I can have just a tiny bit more room. But yeah, I'm running out of room. I'm not done unpacking stuff. Massive dump truck. It's gotten quite dusty and a bit fingerprinted. That's a huge beast. Just in case you're not familiar with this and understand the scope of how big the real life thing is, that is a ladder for somebody to go up to actually get into the cab over here to drive it. This thing is huge. We have another cat. I want to say bulldozer. I want to say this is the bulldozer. I am, again, not very familiar with different types of equipment. Tanks, trains, and planes, and construction equipment. But I think that's a bulldozer. Could be wrong. That's an excavator, maybe? Not quite a backhoe. But another one of the original Silver Cat lineup before they stopped doing those. Did you know that this is a grader? I had in-laws that drove graders out in the Southwest, so I'm a little bit familiar with these, a little bit. I lived out in the country, and so you would frequently see these leveling off the long dirt roads, or at least some version of this. I lied. I actually did use my pictures again to fill in the empty shelf because I couldn't remember. But we also have some Freightliner stuff. We have our Freightliner long nose. Bit dusty. I say that a lot, don't I? I should stop saying that a lot. And then we have our cab over engine Freightliner, also Freightliner. Don't see these much anymore. They were real popular in the 70s and 80s because there were federal laws on how long the vehicles could be. And, in typical business fashion, screw the driver, we need to haul more freight. So they made the cab as short, or the tractor as short as they could, so that they could make the truck as long as, or the trailer hauling equipment as long as they could. And there it is. Then eventually they'll all changed and it was less of an issue. And then we have the Freightliner snowplow, which is interesting. And living in the north, there are plow trucks out right now because we're getting more snow. And I thought it would be neat to get pictures of this model with a plow truck. But the city, as far as I've seen, does not use Freightliner. They use Mack, I believe, Mack trucks. Although I'm now living in kind of a suburb and I've seen the trucks and I don't think they're Freightliner. They're actually very small trucks. And then we have the Freightliner dump truck. So much hot glue strings. Ta-da! And we have the Kawasaki, I believe, Ninja. This was a heck of a build. There's so many weird and unfamiliar angles. I had a difficult time with this. It is a fascinating looking bike, fascinating looking model. Not really my thing, but challenging and fun build, and a neat addition. And I forgot how to properly pronounce this, so what this is called. But this monstrosity is a German mix between a motorcycle and a little tank car thing. It was quite the interesting doodad. Can't remember the name of it now. It's like, it's one of the off brands that made this. One of the really, like the same people that make like the handgun and rifle I hate. It was challenging build because of the tabs were thick and hard to bend and hard to twist, and stuff was hard to maneuver. And then we have some space. We have the lunar lander, another older model of mine that I'm going to redo one of these days, because they have the lunar lander with module, or something with module. It's this with gold pieces and another piece, and I definitely want to do it and see if I can't do these Funkadoo cones any better than I did the first time, especially now that I have better tools. And then we have the other castle. Can't remember who's Cinderella and who's Snow White anymore. Just can't remember. And the windmill. The windmill. And now it's on to these paper boxes. They have like one stack of rings, and this, pretty sure, has a MU model in pieces, because these are pieces of Starscream that laid on top of the fuzz. It's like one of his guns, one of his 80 shoulder pads, backpack, kick-ass, I don't know why backpack, his crown of self-importance, his not-so-iron fist, his finger of shame, the rest of his gun, you know, for that back kick, his leg wingers, his other's shoulder pad. I kind of forget what I do sometimes. Pardon the cables that are in the way, still figuring things out. I've constructed a body form for Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is not a good example of MU models. It's cool and tons of detail and large in size, but a real shit, pardon my language, to construct, and rather flimsy. He has taken like one or two tumbles and basically have magnets holding him together at this point. He barely stands anymore. And yeah. Barely moving. I think I'm just going to go set them over there and hope for the best right now. And figure out exactly how I'm going to display them now, because it's... yeah, I don't know. He's falling apart. He's like in three pieces, and there's magnets stuffed up in his legs to hold the legs in position. He'll still hold weight on it, but he'll fall apart if you pick him up wrong. At the bottom is the rest of Starscream. His leg wingers fell in there. There we go. Blammo, the almost naked Starscream. We have the leg wings. Let's see. I don't remember how these go on. That's not yet. There's magnets hidden in him too, to keep them all together. One leg wing thing mostly on. One of the tabs is right there on a fold and challenging to get into place. Just have to come at it from an angle. Hope everything else lines up. There we go. Got his big back wing, which just plugs into those two slots. There's magnets in there somewhere. And there you go. hesitant to even put the gun on. The gun, one part clips in the top of the fist, the other clips under. It is easily falls off, very easily. Then we have these shoulder pad thingies that clip on. There's magnets in here, I think. And something like that. And there's the two fists, so you can choose which hand or fist you want to put on there. And just similar to the side wing things, just clips in the end, and there's a magnet that holds it in. The other one we just hide somewhere. This crown just sits on top. Let's see if I can do the gun. There's the back piece. And there we go. There we go. He's got his gun. Sorry. Disassembled. Let's go put him somewhere. I honestly feel like I should make a wooden platform for him with magnets in it. Because it seems as time goes on, his legs kind of spread out more and more, and the magnets would be aligned so that his legs stand a little straighter and maybe take some of the stress off the body. I may have to do that someday to try and keep him from doing a permanent split. Definitely going to be some fine tuning to this setup that will probably never actually get finished, just so you know. There we are. Dragon. Silver Dragon. Fantastic model. Fun to build. Dust his wings off. Can't even really tell how dusty he is because of his design, which is kind of good. And then we have one that I am extremely lucky to have. And had no idea how lucky I was when I got it. The elusive and impossible to find Golden Castle model. I think this is the Sleeping Beauty Castle. I think. So, now I know which one is which. But this is the exclusive one that was sold, given away, released during one of Disney's big annual events. I'm not familiar with how Disney does things, but I've been told about the event. It is a sought after castle, but there was a very limited supply, and it's next to impossible to find one now that hasn't been built. Someone got this and sent it to me. It is the most amazing gift I have been given just because of its rarity. So if anybody's going to ask, where do you get this? eBay is pretty much your only chance. And you're going to be bidding for it because a lot of other people are already looking for this. You would have a better chance of finding the Mega R2 than this thing right here. So I'm very lucky to have this beautiful model. It's such a fun build. Very lucky. I don't even know if you can get spare parts for this thing anymore. And then another one of my favorites, just because of what it is, the Space Shuttle Launch Kit. And this is the last thing that I built. It has been quite a while, and I never finished the review for it. And I'm sorry about that. So it's one of the next things I need to do is try to put together the review for this. I'm going to have to watch my own video to remember. But very excited about this model. Very excited to have it and build it. And yeah, fantastic. I love it. And that's it for that box. 3 more boxes to go. 3 more of those big ones. Very fortunate that I was working third shift in housekeeping before my move. It allowed me to find a lot of boxes. Oh, what do we have here? We have dinosaurs and aeroplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. Okay. T-Rex. Very cool. Kind of forgot I built that. I think it's one of the only 2 dinosaur models I got around to. This is a shame. I want to do a model. Triceratops. Wibbly wobbly. Ah, we have a stand for a plane. I'm assuming it's in this box. This bad boy. Very nice size plane. I cannot remember what this is, and I am sorry. Again, bad with names. I don't remember what this is, and I'm going to be doing a lot of that with the planes. When I'm building the video, I'll look it up and put it somewhere, maybe down here. Maybe look for, is it there? I can't tell. Anyway, neat little stand. See, this is one of the models. It's on a stand. We'll go in the back. A chopper with a bent wing or blade. It actually spins. Check that out. Cool. Don't remember which chopper this is. Again, bad with the names, but you know, maybe it'll be. And then we have down there. This I think I do remember. I believe this is a Cessna. Very simple little plane. We have a few of these not far down the road near the airport. Tiny plane. Some of the discontinued models. We have the Halo Pelican, I think. I vaguely remember falling out of one of these things during Halo 1, maybe? And again, maybe I remember wrong. Halo 1's the only one I've played. Used to do tech support for it for a very short time around Christmas one year. Another Halo model. No idea what this is anymore. I believe all of these Halo models have been discontinued. So there may come a time where some of these get put on a shelf, not behind me. Just because they weren't that popular and been discontinued. We have Master Chief's helmet. Which I don't suspect it's changed that much over the years. Could be wrong. One of the coolest ATVs I've ever seen. Can't remember what this is anymore. It's a gunned down Halo, or gunned up Halo ATV. The Warthog. Freaking hated this build. There were some serious difficulties with the axle. One of my early ridiculous challenges when it comes to building Metal Earth models. And I've heard a fair amount of people complain about it. And this thing that I can no longer remember the name of. Oh, it says right there, that's the Mantis. Right there. Just read, Brad, read. Mantis. But I don't see the name on that one. Yeah. Put the original Halo lineup back on its stand or base. Never made a base for the other set. I feel like I'm still missing a Halo model, but I don't know what it is. Alright, like this is a similar base that I made for the Mass Effect models that I think you can still find new ones. They were so unpopular. They got discontinued, and you can still find them some places because they just weren't selling. But there's magnets in here somewhere. Ta-da. That's whoa. That's a Mass Effect model. No idea which one anymore. And then we have this one. Never really played the game. And we have this one. There's 3 of them. Let's put the stand over here. We have a tank. Maybe this was the Scorpion? I can't remember. This was a huge pain in the ass to build. Huge pain in the ass. And I broke apart and somehow welded, glued, stickered it on there. I don't even remember how. Somewhere up here. Just, we have a pretty car. There was the Duesenberg Model J and something else. And I've got both of them. I got the other one over there. I can't remember which one this one is. But the other fancy car, fancy oldie car. Very pretty. And then speaking of cars, we have this other exclusive sci-fi thing. This is from Blade Runner 2024. This is a spinner car. That's what they called it. Very unique car to the movie. Both movies, both the original and the new one. I mean, it was very similar car concept idea thingy. It floats. It has wheels. It doesn't seem to have an engine. One wheel in the back. It's what it is. You had to buy the movie from Walmart with this in it. It was the way to get it. And not Walmart everywhere, apparently. Now we have tanks. I know I'm going to get these wrong. I don't remember. I know there's a Tiger, there's a Sherman, and there's several others. Don't remember which one that is. Another tank. 3 of the tanks that I have came in a kit from Barnes & Noble way back when they sold these white boxes. The models were just in white boxes. They were nicer looking boxes instead of the pack that hangs on the wall. And Barnes & Noble would sell them in like kits, like 2 or 3 together. And they still kind of sometimes do that, but not as much. But yeah, I got these 3, but I didn't get the 4th one. They had 4 at the time, but they only had 3 in the box, and you had to get the 4th one separately. It's one of the only times I bought from Barnes & Noble. I want to say this is the one that wasn't in the kit that I had to get separately. But could be wrong. And then later on they released a 5th one, which is this bad boy right here. And this actually turns. The turns. There it goes. And what remains is a train set that I think was slightly mislabeled. There's a gift box. I think you can still get it. It's a box set of train, and it comes with this locomotive, this engine, and then it has this car, which is like an open top car, hopper maybe. I don't remember. And then this box car, it's just a container car of some sort. And then you have this sort of flatbed. And it had 5 altogether. Last but not least is the caboose. And that's it of that box. Alright, aside from the one airplane box that I'm putting off, I've got 2 more boxes down here. Got them open. We've got fun things like this London Eye. It's a premium model. It was Iconics when I got it, but premium now. London Eye. We have some Game of Thrones stuff, like this sigil. Targaryen sigil. Took me a while to figure out how to say sigil right. Not entirely sure I'm doing it right. We have the infamous chair that even if you have no idea what Games of Thrones is, you've probably seen this chair somewhere. Dragon, I believe it's called. A, dragon from the Throne of Games. Game of Thrones. Yep, there it is. Very cool. And then we have a dragon from Harry Potter. Possibly Gringotts dragon? I can't remember. But, dragon. We have fun stuff like the, oh good lord, I can't remember the name. Cathedral. Big cathedral. Big well-known cathedral that I cannot think of the name of right now. And there's no nameplate to help me. Very famous. Caught on fire not too long ago. Got Thor's hammer, which comes off, but I hid magnets somewhere. There's a piece of magnet under there. It helps keep it on. We have a movie projectile. Have a crane thingy. Forgot what this is called. This is one of the early construction equipment things before they started doing like cat and stuff like that. And then we have a Wild West coach. It's another one of the Wild West models. This was an interesting, somewhat challenging build. Klingon bird of prey. My favorite of the 4 Star Trek models. I think the bird of prey lended its design well to this type of metal model, and it looks really good and really well done. The fins are a pain in the butt, but they work. My favorite of the 4. My second favorite of the 4 is another Klingon ship. This one also lended itself fairly well to the metal designs. A lot of angular bits, curves that are not too hard to emulate. And then we have the Enterprise D, which is okay. Did not lend itself as well to this metal model design because it's so very curvy, but it works. And they also added guns that really don't belong there in this particular model, but whatever. Notice the magnets underneath to give it weight because it is forward heavy and likes to fall over. And then we have the original Enterprise, which does not lend itself all that great to this 3D metal model design, folding flat pieces into shape. It's quite a pain to do. The ridges along here just look off, but good try. They put the stand on backwards, and the nacelles are very questionable in how they're designed. Don't think whoever designed this really understood the show. Or the actual design of the Enterprise. The missing Mass Effects model. We have a drum set. I have since seen drum sets. I don't know if they're a copy of this same set or just very similar, but they have color to them and they'll have like band names in the middle, like Beatles. Kind of neat. Boom boom. I'm almost done. We have a Starliner space capsule retriever thingy. Not much dust on it. Don't know anything about that. I think it's a concept. I don't know if it's been used before. And that's it for that box. One more box. Not a whole lot in here. I already did the top layer, but There is Megatron. Fantastic model. I did this first as far as the MU Transformer models are concerned, and was blown away at how it was designed and how many of the parts came together, and just loved it. Took I had 24 hours in total to build this thing, not at one time, over bits and pieces, but just so much layered detail and the way things came together. It's just a real step up for the way MU designs things. This was well done. The second model I did was Optimus Prime, and I was very disappointed in how poorly constructed that was. But this was designed later, marked improvement, and then Starscream after that, even better. Put Megatron in timeout. 2 more models, 3 more models, 4 more models. These are tucked away in weird ways. Ferris wheel. Pretty simple. Hard to dust. I want to say Burj Al Khalifa, but that's probably not right. I want to say I'm in the right ballpark with the name, but oh, here it is. Burj Al Arab. That's it. Probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I do apologize. But an interesting model. Not just interesting as it being a 3D model is interesting, but interesting building design. And then we have this. I think this is the Seattle Tower thing, I think. Never seen it. But, you know, cute. There it is. These are all stuffed in pockets around the framework for Megatron. I built the frame to keep him in the middle so he wouldn't move around, and then in the pockets around it I was able to stuff things like this. Tall and kind of slender is this knight. Really nice model. I did a picture of him. What did I do? I think he was missing his arms. I didn't put his arms on yet. And took a little piece of black cloth and put it over him without the cape, and with the notation of "'tis but a scratch" or something. If you get the reference, you get the reference. But I had fun with that. And I think I took my 3D printer and I loaded it with red filament, and I just extruded a thin line and just kind of held it and made it look like blood was squirting out his arms or something like that. I can't quite remember, but that was fun. There we go. I believe that is all the boxes except one that is full of planes. And I'm going to end this video with that and try to look up the planes and do just a video on those and try to put them together on that bottom shelf, because I feel like that might be helpful for people. And part of this is to do a review of my collection, but it might actually be helpful for some people to see how I cram them all in there. It might be helpful for me to see how I cram them all in there. But anyway, that's it for this unpacking. I've done a lot. Finally getting there. I need to get these boxes out of here, and then try to set my table up and actually start building something. Finish that review. It's exciting. Finally moving forward. Yay. Oh man, look at me. Remember this? Finally got it mostly set back up. What you just saw was supposed to be tied in with the previous video. That was my original intention, just doing like a 2-part setting this up. As usual, I completely misguessed the time frame, so we've got like a part 3, but that opened up with, you know, like I had just, at the time I had just basically gone to bed, got up the next day and went back, maybe not immediately, but back to putting models up, and it's actually been like a week and a half, 2-week separation between the 2 videos. But I've gotten everything out of the box except for that small box of planes, and honestly at this point, while I want to put the planes up, I also want to start moving forward with building again. And so I've got the table set up, I've got my lights set up, I've still got some fine tuning to do. I'm a little chilly, dryer just stopped. It's really surprisingly cold in this basement. We were hoping it wouldn't be this chilly, but it is. But I'm moving forward anyway. Table's set up. The lights are mostly set up. I'm like missing one. I gotta kind of do something different. Like, I'm in the basement. I've been in the basement for years now. I'm usually able to just clip my lights. Like, I have these lights lighting up behind me, and they're doing a decent job. But I usually have 3 of them, and I just kind of clip them on the board to the floorboard. But there's some vents in the way, so I can't do that as easily as I did before. So I'm thinking of nailing another board across. And anyway, it'll work for now. And my table is set up, and I'm gotta find a model and start building hopefully in the next few days. I'm not gonna make any promises, but we're gonna do the unpacking of the airplanes model at some other point, because I want to move forward and get back to building. I miss building. But at least we've got most of my collection going over and on the shelf behind me, and it is really nice to be back in front of the camera, in front of this familiar background, with a build table in front of me and the actual possibility of building again. I could potentially get up tomorrow morning, because I'm probably going to take the rest of the day off after I finish this video and go chill and play video games with family again, and eat cake, because it's my cousin's husband's birthday, and we're just going to chill. But I could potentially get up tomorrow, open something up, and start building, and it wouldn't be that big a deal. Boxes are out of the way, the table is set up, my monitor is set up, my tools are right here in front of me. I could do this. I'm excited. I'm excited to finally get back to what I used to do. It's been far too long. But let's hope that I can get that started again soon. I have taken a big step forward. Unpacked most of my collection. Gave anyone who's curious a review of my models, a little bit of jabbering, as I like to do, and I'm doing now. But yay, finally taking a step forward. I'm going to end this video. I will say, I may start building tomorrow. I may spend some time this afternoon doing like a catch-up news video, because I haven't done one of those in a long time, and I've missed quite a few things. And one of the things that I was noticing, I've mentioned some of the stuff I missed briefly and casually over the making of these putting the studio back together videos. There are a lot of models that have been announced and released that I just haven't covered, and some that I'm excited about, and I didn't even check if anything's been released since the last video. But what I did notice as I was going through the Metal Earth page, and I actually switched over to Fascination's website for some of it, because like the Halo models and the Mass Effects models, when I wanted to find the name of them, you can't find them on Metal Earth's page. You have to go to fascinations.com and look under retired models. But in poking around on there, the Fascinations page gives a little bit more information. What I have discovered is a number of architectural models, including some of the ones I just put up in this video, are listed as retiring, as in they're gonna retire them soon, and what's out there is all that's left. Not only that, I went to the retiring page and noticed that there were a number of Star Wars models that are being retired. And I know there's a lot of people that aren't going to be sad about that, because every time we start talking about, or I start talking about Star Wars, or they start releasing Star Wars models, people talk about how they're a little tired of it. I get that. But it looks like the Solo movie, the 4 models associated with the Solo, like those 2 speeders, and I don't know, I gotta look at it more, but some of the Solo models and some of the Rebels, I think it is, some of those models are being retired. And this is the first time I've ever seen a Star Wars model being retired. And I'm a little surprised about the architectural models, because I thought a lot of people liked those. But they are older. But yeah, there's more models retiring. So, if you want to find out more until I have a chance to make a video about it, check out fascinations.com and look down the page. There's some buttons across somewhere down the page. There's some buttons, and one of them's retiring and retired. Retired stuff has already been stopped. The retiring is getting ready to be stopped. Check it out for yourself. I'm going to try to put together a video and get back into the news, 3D metal model news. There's a lot to catch up on, and a lot I probably just flat missed, especially from overseas, because there were a lot of those, like MU and Peace Cool models that were very Asian culture centric, and not to say anything about that, but they didn't interest me, and I don't know. I don't feel like I got a strong reaction out of being the interest in that, and maybe that's just me. Feel free to leave in the comments down below if you have a strong interest in those Asian models. Let me know and I'll continue to review them, but I kind of felt like quite a few of them were very propaganda-ish for the Asian cultures. Could be, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just felt like there was a somewhat of a push to, you know, put out that stuff that was very our culture oriented, you know, Asian culture oriented for the Asian culture to kind of, I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not putting it well into words. Propaganda is the word that comes to mind, but I don't know that that quite fits. But if there's an interest, leave in the comments below, and I'll try to cover more of it. But there's definitely some models from Metal Earth, and I haven't even seen what's going on with MU and what's going on with Peace Cool lately, but I do want to try and catch up, and I'll try to make a video about that and try to start building soon. I'm always trying. Bless my heart, I'm always trying. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that in this video, because I think we're over 30 minutes at this point, and at some point in the future I'll do the planes and get some time and attention to sorting this out. I've had lots of thoughts about extending my shelves in that direction. The computer desk is over there now. It used to be over here, but this is a different basement. I've also had some thought of custom building a board that comes along this wall over here so that I can put more shelves and actually filming at an angle instead of straight on like we have now, filming at sort of an angle one way or the other, so we have sort of a corner with more shelves. I don't know, lots of thoughts in my head. Doesn't mean I'm going to do them. I'm rambling now. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. I haven't done a specific thank you to the people who are still supporting me. Some folks have left. I totally understand. Finances have been difficult for everybody, and I haven't been putting out the content that I used to. So I totally understand, and I greatly appreciate those of you who are still sticking around. It helped me put some of the studio stuff back together, like a few new lights, because I don't have the lighting that I had previously, and I still need to make some changes. I've kind of got a ragtag of overhead stuff going on, but my computer is dim, and you know, it's still helping me set back up, so I greatly appreciate it. And also, I never did get those models shipped out like I want to. The bag is still sitting over here with all these models that I need to start shipping out, so I need to try and I tried to push myself into announcing that and getting that ball rolling, and it just didn't happen, and I'm sorry, but they're still here. Still going to get those out. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Thank you to everyone out there commenting, watching, even being quiet. Thank you. As always, keep on keeping on.